Hello everyone, my name is Sreejith Kuniyil. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I'm a director of Parvasi Tax. Let's discuss today's video. Today's video is actually based upon the recent Union Budget 2023, which was published on 1st February 2023. And one of the maybe the uniqueness or maybe the change in the budget is the every people talk about the new tax regime. So let's discuss in more detail how the new tax regime is going to impact NRI and how this is going to be affect NRI in future years. So let's get into the video. Before start the video, whether a old tax regime or a new tax regime which is relevant for NRIs, before that, let's discuss what is the current tax rates for individual NRI. When I discuss tax rates for NRI, just to clarity wise, I just want to give you a kind of a all in the same page. There is no specific tax rates for NRI. All individuals are treated very similar in India, whether it's a resident, whether it's a non-resident, treated at varied par in terms of tax rates. There is no different slab rate for an individual NRI, or there is no different slab rate for an individual resident. That's one thing I would like to clarify. And also, there is nothing newly introduced for NRI. This was there in the beginning also. As you all know, that actually if you have any taxable income, that taxable income is subject to tax, and that subject tax rates is something what we are going to discuss now. Now let's discuss in more detail what's the relevant current tax rates. When I say current tax rates, we all are in the financial year 22-23. This particular video we are shooting on February 2023 means still one more month is actually for completing a financial year. April 2022, 31st March 2023 is the one financial year. That assessment year is actually 23-24. Assessment year 23-24, the tax rate is like this. That means normal tax rate, old tax regime. Up to 2.5 lakhs, there is no tax. That means up to 2.5 lakhs of your taxable income, there is no tax at all in India. Okay. 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, it is 5%. 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, it is 20%. And more than 10 lakhs, it is 30%. This is the normal tax rates applicable for every individual resident and also individual non-resident. Is it clear? Now, against that particular taxable income, you are eligible for claiming certain deductions under Chapter 6A. When I say your LIC premium, your medical policy premium, then your house property loan principal premium, all those items are available as a deduction under Chapter 6A. Clear? Also, you have another tax regime we call as an alternative tax regime or a new tax regime. Was introduced years back. So let's see what are those tax rates. You have a normal tax rate, that is you call as a default tax regime, and now you have an alternative tax regime. What we are discussing basically the tax rates applicable for financial year 22-23. That means assessment year 23-24. The due date is actually on 31st July 2023. It's clear. That's the tax rate. Currently, what we are discussing now. See the new tax regime. New tax regime. 2.5 lakhs, there is no tax. Very similar like your old tax regime. New tax regime up to 2.5 lakhs, no tax. 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, it is 5%, no difference. Actually, the tax rates change after 5 lakhs onwards. That means, see the new tax regime up to 2.5 lakhs, there's no tax. You can see actually the old tax regime also, there is no tax up to 2.5 lakhs. Very similar. 2.5 lakhs, no tax. 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, it is actually 5%. Same like your old tax rate, no difference. Now the difference actually start coming from your 5 lakhs onwards. Now you see the 5 lakhs to 7.5 lakhs, it is actually 10%. In the old tax regime, it was actually 20%, right? Now it is 5 lakhs to 7.5 lakhs, it is 10%. 7.5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, it is 15%. 10 lakhs to 12.5 lakhs, it is 20%. 12.5 lakhs to 15 lakhs, it is 25%. So normal scenario, old tax regime, more than 10 lakhs, it was actually 30% tax. Now you see the new tax regime, about 10 lakhs, you have a two tax rates. Up to 10 lakhs to 12.5 lakhs, it is 20%. 12.5 lakhs to 15 lakhs, it is 25%. The 30% tax will come only if your taxable income exceeds 15 lakhs. This is a difference between your old tax and the new tax. Am I right? Now, very, very important distinction between the old tax and the new tax is, as I said, in the old tax, you are eligible to claim the Chapter 68 deductions like your LIC policy, your house property loan premium, your mediclaim policy. Those deductions were available. Those deductions are not available when you opt for this particular new tax regime. If you really want to opt, you're supposed to file the return before the due date. That means if you really want to get into this particular new tax regime, you need to file the return before 31st July 2023. Then only you are eligible to come within this particular thing. And one more condition is there. If you have a business income, you can only opt one time in your lifetime. Otherwise, you need to get out of this particular business category. Then only you are eligible. Otherwise, what is available for an individual NRI? Assume you have a interest income, rental income, those category of income you can always compare which is the most beneficial rate, either a new tax regime, old tax regime. Please do compare accordingly. You can file the tax return. Hope it is clear what's the current tax rates applicable for financial year 22-23. This is a old tax regime, this is a new tax regime. Now let's discuss what is in the budget. That is a very, very important observations. Please note down. So far I discussed default tax regime, I discussed new tax regime. Clear? Now, let's see how budget has changed the whole landscape of the taxations. So far, what discussed the new tax regime, right? This every 2.5 lakhs, you have an incremental 5% tax slab rate. That entire new tax has been shifted to become your default regime. That means financial year 23-24, your new tax regime is going to be your default tax regime. That means previously, whatever we were using a default tax regime, that is your traditional slab rates of the income tax for individuals, that become optional regime. That means if you really want to opt for that particular previous year's default regime, you need to opt. That means practically it is you need to opt before the due date for filing the tax return, so that I would like to opt for this particular old tax regime, means your previous tax regimes. All your new tax regime is going to be a default regime. Hope I think there is no confusion. Even still you have any confusion, please do contact Pravasi Tax. We will clarify if anyone has any doubts relating to that. Simple thing, previous years, that means current tax years new tax regime become your default tax regime for financial year 23-24. And your previously, so far we've been using this particular all those default tax regime is going to become your alternative regime. That means that become basically the opted tax regime. And you really want to opt for that particular old tax regime, you need to opt by filing the return before the due date. Otherwise, you can't file that also. You can compare old tax regime versus your new tax regime, which is the most beneficial. That is very much available. Now, let's discuss what are the change in the tax rates. So, I just want to summarize again. Your new tax regime is going to be your default tax regime for future, and your previously your old tax regime is become kind of opted tax regime. That is something you need to mandatorily opt if you really want to use the benefit of that old tax regime. Now let's see the tax rates, what's going to be applicable for financial year 23-24 as per the new budget. Please listen very carefully. The current year, financial year 22-23, as I mentioned, your new tax regime, every 2.5 lakhs, there is a 5% incremental tax rates, right? In the budget, the completely different tax rates has been introduced. Very interesting observations. It's very simple mathematics. Earlier it was 2.5 lakhs, 5% incremental. Now it is 3 lakhs incremental revenue, 5% incremental tax rates. Let's see. Up to 3 lakhs. I'm talking the new tax regime applicable for financial year 23-24. Up to 3 lakhs, there is no tax at all. That means a person who earns income up to 3 lakhs, there is no income tax payable in India. Then 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs, it is 5%. 6 lakhs to 9 lakhs, it is 10%. 9 lakhs to 12 lakhs, it is 15%. 12 lakhs to 15 lakhs, it is 20%, and more than 15 lakhs, it is 30%. I repeat again, I don't want to get any confusions. Up to 3 lakhs, no tax. 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs, it is 5%. 6 lakhs to 9 lakhs, it is 10%. 9 lakhs to 12 lakhs, it is 15%. 12 lakhs to 15 lakhs, it is 20%. And more than 15 lakhs, it is 30%. This is the tax rate is going to be applicable for an individual NRI if you want to file a tax return for financial year 23-24. This is a new tax rates. There is no difference at all for your old tax regime. That means earlier we discussed the tax rates for the old tax regime up to 2.5 lakhs, it is nil. 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs, it is 5%. 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, it is 20%. Then more than 10 lakhs, it is 30%. There's no rate difference for that particular old tax regime. That is remain to be the same. The only difference is the new tax regime. That is going to be you become your default tax regime. To summarize, you can always compare with your old tax regime and your new tax regime. That is your mandate regime right now, and whichever is the more beneficial tax rates applicable, you can follow. So for an NRI, what are the nature of income can typically come within this particular network is basically if you have any rental income, if you have any interest income, because share trading income anyway comes within a kind of a flat rates, so you don't need to anyway compare with your new tax and the old tax regime. And those NRIs are actually not claiming these deductions under chapter 6A, your LIC policy, LIC premium, your housing loan principal premium. Then you can always go with this particular new tax regime. So always approach your tax consultant, do comparison. There could be a you get a better beneficial rates you can apply and get a better tax rates. So hope I think this particular video is effectively useful for NRIs. And you have any doubts, please drop your questions here on our comment box. And please do subscribe our channel. We will be releasing more and more similar interesting videos for NRIs community. Thank you all for watching this video.